Hello Year 8. What I thought would be helpful for your dirt task today is for me to run through one of each type of question from some of the comments that you have given me and from looking at your work, and because it's a new set of skills this week, I just thought it would be helpful for you to sort of see an example of each question. So I'm going to do all the odd number questions, and then on your work I have written the questions that I'd like you to have a go at. And they will be even number questions which correspond to the skill that I've shown you. So if you watch this video and see all of the questions, then you'll be able to kind of do the ones that you need to. So question 1, we're told to estimate 29 times 71. Now that word is very important. It makes our calculation a little bit easier, but some of you not estimating, doing the actual calculation, which means you wouldn't get the mark. So here, 29 times 71, well, I'm going to round both of these to one significant figure, and so that calculation is going to become 30 times 70, which is equal to 3 times 7 is 21, then add the zeros at the end, so 2,100. Question 3, we've got 2 over 5 times 2 over 3. Now when we multiply fractions, we times the top and we times the bottom. And so we've got 2 times 2 on the top, which is 4, and 5 times 3 on the bottom, which is 15. So your answer would be 4 over 15. Question 5, 393 divided by 6. Now I'm going to use bus stop method for this. So put the 6 outside, 393. Now I'm just going to put a 0.0 there. And 393 is exactly the same as 393.0. Now 6 goes into 3 0 times, so I carry the 3 over. 6 goes into 39 6 times, and 6 times 6 is 36, so there is 3 remaining. Again, 6 goes into 33 5 times, and 6 times 5 is 30. So there is 3 remaining again. Now because there's a decimal point here, I must carry that up so it is in line here. And then 6 goes into 30 5 times, so 65.5 would be your answer. And because we're talking in terms of money, I would write that as £65.50. Question 7. To expand, we need to times everything in the bracket by what's outside. Now 2x times 11x, if we deal with the numbers first, 2 times 11 is 22, and x times x, remember, gives you x squared. 2x times 1 is just 2x, so 22x squared plus 2x would be your answer there. Question 9, express 50% as a fraction in its lowest form. Now remember, percentages are all out of 100, so I'd start by writing that as 50 out of 100, and then there's different ways that you can simplify this. I'm going to first of all divide throughout by 10, so that's going to give you 5 over 10, and then we can see 5 is common to both, so if we divide throughout by 5, that's going to become 1 over 2. You may have done that a slightly different way. As long as you got to a half in the end, then that's fine. Question 11, find the highest common factor of 6 and 15. Here I'd suggest you list the factors of each of them. So the factors of 6 are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. The factors of 15 are 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. And you can see here that the highest common factor is 3, so your answer there would be 3. Question 13, be very careful with the negatives. 4 divided by minus 1, well, a positive divided by a negative is going to give you a negative answer. 4 divided by 1 would be 4, so my answer must be negative 4. Question 15, complete the ratio. 6 to 48 is equal to 1 to what? Well, to get from 6 down to 1 here, I have divided by 6. So I must do the same with the 48. 48 divided by 6 is equal to 8. And so your question mark is equal to 8. Question 17, we're solving an equation, but we have got x on both sides. So the first thing you want to do is subtract the smallest value of x. So we've got 6x and 4x, so 4x is obviously the smallest, so if we subtract 4x from both sides, we would get 2x plus 1 is equal to minus 1. Make sure you keep that as a minus 1, don't just put 1. Now to isolate x, to get x by itself, we subtract 1 from both sides. So here we would get 2x is equal to minus 2. And if 2x is equal to minus 2, we divide throughout by 2 to get that 1x is equal to negative 1. Okay, last one. Question 19, we're asked to express 135 as a product of prime factors. Now I'm just going to write the first few prime numbers here. So we've got 2, 3, 5 and 7. And when we're asked to draw a prime factor tree or list something in prime factors, we're trying to think which prime numbers are a factor of this number. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the paper so that I've got room to draw this as a factor tree. And I'm going to put 135 at the top. Now, we can see 5 must be a factor because 135 ends in 5. So I'm going to do 5. And 5 times 27 is equal to 135. Because 5 is prime, I'm just going to circle it. Now, 3 is a factor of 27. So I'm going to write 27 as 3 times 9. And again, because 3 is a factor, I'm going to circle it. Prime number, sorry. 9 is equal to 3 times 3, which are both prime, so I'll circle those. And now I can't extend my tree anymore. I've got 5, 3, 3 and 3, and these are all prime numbers. So the final step to list this as a product of prime numbers is write all these values multiplied together. Now 3 times 3 times 3, I'll write as 3 cubed times by 5, and that there would be your final answer. And if you were to calculate this, you would get 135. So have a go at the dirt task, at the questions that I've written on your sheet today. Hopefully that's helpful. If not, feel free to send me an email or put a comment on Show My Homework and we can run through any of those questions there.